Hello everyone, welcome again to my channel. Thanks for clicking on this video. I hope you are doing well. Well, as you can see, we are still talking about the teaching of English, some lessons and topics related to the teaching of English. And this is very important for those who want to apply for the teaching job or the teaching profession, either in the private sector or public sector. Okay, so today's lesson is, as you can see, is the teacher's roles. So you will be a teacher, or maybe you are a teacher, so for sure you have some roles that you play or you will be playing. All right, so today we are going to cover something like 6 roles that a teacher has. You might find others, but the 6 ones we are going to cover today are the most common ones. So let's start with the first role, and it is very simply, we can say the facilitator. And when I say the facilitator comes from to facilitate or to make something simple or easy. Now, you as a teacher, you will be teaching students, so for sure one of your jobs or roles is to make the subject you are teaching or the lesson you are teaching how easy. You are supposed to make it easy for the learners and students you have. So we have some ways that you can make the subject or the lesson easy, for example, by using realia, for instance, or maybe using gestures in classroom, drawings in classroom, etc. So we have different ways to make the learning easy and the subject or the lesson you are teaching easy. So one of the teacher's roles is to facilitate, okay? To facilitate learning or the subject. So it is number 1, facilitator. Number 2, and this is also very crucial, is something that we can call the we can say planner. Number 1 is the planner, okay? So, sorry, this is number 2, so it is planner. And when I say planner, it comes from to plan, okay? So one of your jobs is, or your roles is to plan. To plan what? Very simply, is to plan lessons, to plan what you are going to do in a particular session and what you are going to do in the whole semester, and you should also plan for what you are going to do in the whole year. So this is what we mean by planning, to plan. So one of the teachers, another role of the teacher is planner. So every teacher has to plan lessons, and planning as a roadmap gives you an idea about what you are going to do, and for sure you accomplish what you are supposed to accomplish easily, okay? So planning helps you to finish the lesson and to help students learn. Okay, so planning is very important for a teacher. All right, so this is why actually in the teaching profession we talk about something like lesson planning. Okay, lesson planning. So this is another role. Number 2, the planner. So you are a planner. Another thing that, or another role that we can talk about, it's also very important, is information. We can say information provider. So you're a teacher. So you're a teacher, and for sure your students are waiting you to give them information. So one of your job or your roles is to give information to your students, information for sure, according to the lesson or the subject you are teaching. Okay, so you are an information provider. Okay, all right, so this is number 3. And number 4, this is also very crucial, and without which you would not be an appropriate teacher, is what we call the assessor. So assessor is very important. And when we talk about assessor, and as you can see, assessor comes from assessment, is to assess student. So here, as an assessor, you will be assessing the learning and the teaching. You assess student learning and you assess your maybe we can say your performance as a teacher, whether you did well as a teacher or not. And as for students, you assess student learning to see whether students are improving or not. So assessment is a very crucial part of the teaching profession. Okay, so assessment, as I said, gives you an idea about the student and about yourself as a teacher. So this is a very crucial role. As I said, it is assessor. So you will be a teacher, you will be an assessor. And when we talk about assessor, actually, assessment, we talk about exams, we talk about quizzes, we talk about even exercises or questions you ask in the classroom can give you an idea about the student. All right, so assessment to get, as I said, ideas and information about the student and about yourself as a teacher. Okay, so this is very important point, and this is number 4. Number 5, it's also very important. We can consider it as a resource. We can say resources developer. This is another role of a teacher, to develop resources. And when I say to develop resources, this is something very important as a role. For example, you might be teaching a certain level that the textbook you are using for them does not fit or does not match with their levels or their level. So therefore, you have to create and develop new resources that you can use for teaching those students. Also, the resources developer or resources development is very important for diversity, for varying your ways of teaching and materials you are using and so on. Not only sticking to the textbooks you have, because 100% relying on the textbook is not good. You will not be developing yourself and you will not feel that you are improving and the students are improving. So resources developer, you are a resources developer as long as you are a teacher. Why? Very simply, to help students learn, to improve yourself as a teacher, and to go hand in hand with the student's level, as I said, okay? Because sometimes the textbooks do not work for student levels, okay? All right. So this is for resources developer. Another one, and this is, I think it's going to be the last one. So number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we still have number 6. And this is also very important. We can consider it as role. It is a role model. Role model. And when I say role model here, it means you are a model for students, okay? So you will be in front of students, you will be talking to students, and students will be listening to you, not only listening to you actually, but they will be listening to you and observing you. Therefore, you have to pay attention to the way you speak, the way you move, your gestures, etc., because students will not only learn the lesson, but they also may learn other things from you, and therefore you have to be a good model for students. All right, so you're not only a teacher, you're an educator, you are a role model for a student. So you have to pay attention a lot to this, okay? In the way you dress, the way you speak, the way you move, and the way you address students, some morals, principles, and so on. So you are, as I said, a role model for students. So these are the most common roles that a teacher plays, and without which your teaching and your work will not be, as I said, good. So facilitator, you will be a facilitator, you will be a planner, you will be information provider for student, you will be assessor, you assess your student and yourself, and resource developer to make learning easy and match with the student levels, and also role model. You are a role model for your student. Okay, so I hope you learned some ideas from today's episode. If you have any question or suggestion, don't hesitate to let me know. See you in another episode with another topic. Have a good time.